Emma, can I confess something a little embarrassing?
It's a podcast, Henry. Embarrassing is basically our format.
Fair. Okay. So last week, I went out for dinner with 4 friends. Lovely evening. Good food, good people. And then the bill came.
Ah, the bill.
And everyone went quiet. You know that silence? Suddenly nobody can make eye contact. One person is looking at the ceiling. One person is suddenly very interested in their phone.
And the waiter is just standing there, holding the little machine.
Holding the machine, smiling, waiting. And inside my head, I'm thinking, do I offer to pay? Do we split it? Do I mention that I only had a salad and water? But I didn't know how to say any of it. So I just laughed nervously and said nothing.
Henry.
I laughed at the bill, Emma, like it had told a joke. The waiter looked at me like I was unwell.
And that, honestly, is exactly why we're doing today's episode. Because if you've ever felt that strange, awkward little moment around money in English, you are absolutely not alone.
Money makes everyone weird, even in your own language.
Especially in another language. You know the words for the food. You know the words for the weather. But the second money enters the conversation, your brain just closes the window.
Please wait. Loading.
And maybe you're listening right now thinking, yes, that's me. I freeze too.
You're in good company. I froze so hard, I laughed at paper.
And the funny thing is, you knew the situation. You knew the people. You weren't confused about the dinner.
No, I loved the dinner. It was just the ending, the money part.
That's what we hear from so many learners. Their English is fine until the bill, the price, the salary, the favor. Then suddenly, the words vanish.
The vocabulary takes a little holiday at the worst possible moment.
So today, we're bringing those words back and keeping them somewhere easy to find. Hey, English learners, welcome back to Real People, Real English, your cozy little place to learn easy English through real, everyday conversations. I'm Emma.
And I'm Henry, and today we're talking about money. But don't worry, we're not going to teach you boring banking words.
No interest rates, no tax forms.
Please, no tax forms. My soul leaves my body when I see a tax form.
Today is a B2 level conversation, so the English is natural and a little more detailed, but we keep everything clear and easy to follow. Even if some words are new, just stay with us and follow the feeling of the conversation.
Because today is about the real money moments. Splitting the bill, lending money to a friend, buying a gift, saying I can't afford it without feeling ashamed. Those little everyday situations where money suddenly makes the conversation feel heavy.
And we'll give you natural English so those moments don't feel scary anymore. Because the problem usually isn't the money. The problem is not knowing what to say.
Right. The money is fine. The sentence is the hard part.
And before we go further, we have a little challenge for you. Tell us in the comments, what is something you find awkward to talk about with money? Maybe it's asking a friend to pay you back. Maybe it's splitting a bill. Maybe it's saying no when someone wants to borrow money.
Just one sentence. Start with, for me, the awkward part is, and finish it. For example, for me, the awkward part is asking friends to pay me back. We genuinely want to read your answers.
And commenting is one of the easiest ways to actually practice your English. You're not just listening anymore, you're using the language.
Even one sentence counts. Don't worry about perfect grammar. Just write something and let your English take one small step forward today.
And later in the episode, stay with us for our word tour, where we slow everything down and look at the most useful money words from today's conversation. We won't just give you a quick meaning and run away.
We never run away. We over-explain with love.
We'll slow each word down, show you the different forms, and give you real sentences you can actually use. Because there's a difference between understanding a word when you hear it and feeling ready to say it yourself.
Today's word tour helps you move from I know this word to I can actually use this word.
And if this kind of conversation helps you, please give the video a like and subscribe to Real People, Real English. It really helps us keep making these everyday English episodes for you.
Okay, can we go back to my tragic dinner story?
Your tragic salad story.
It will haunt this entire episode.
As it should. So let's start exactly where most awkward money moments start. A group of people, one bill, and nobody knows what to do.
The most stressful table in the world.
And here's the thing. The reason it feels awkward is that money mixes with feelings. You don't want to look cheap, but you also don't want to pay for someone else's 3 desserts.
I'm sorry, but if someone orders 3 desserts, that's a personality. And a personality should pay for itself.
Henry.
I said what I said.
So the most useful phrase here is split the bill. That just means everyone shares the cost equally.
So if 4 people ate together, you divide the bill into 4. Simple.
And you can say it very naturally. Should we split the bill? Or let's just split it.
That's such a relief, actually. Because instead of standing there laughing at the bill like I did,
Which we will never forget.
you can just say, hey, should we split the bill? And the silence ends.
Exactly. One small sentence breaks the tension. And notice, you don't need fancy English here. You need calm English. Should we split the bill? 4 words. Done.
4 words and the table relaxes.
Let's make it real. Henry, we just finished a meal. The bill arrives.
Okay, that was so good. Right, should we split the bill?
Yeah, let's split it. That's easiest.
Perfect. See? Calm. Adult. No nervous laughing.
And sometimes you don't want to split equally because maybe you ordered something small and someone else ordered half the menu.
A real situation. A painful, real situation.
In that case, you can say, should we just pay for what we ordered? That means everyone pays for their own food.
That's a kind way to say, I'm not paying for your lobster, Brian.
There's no Brian.
There's always a Brian.
And here's a softer phrase if you want to keep it friendly. You can say, let's go halves. That means 2 people share the cost equally.
Go halves. I like that. It sounds friendly, like we're in this together.
Exactly. I'll go halves with you on the pizza. Warm and easy.
So split the bill is for a group, and go halves is usually for 2 people.
That's a nice way to remember it. And the most important thing is, you're allowed to talk about it. You're not being rude. You're being clear. And clear is kind.
Clear is kind. That's going on a mug.
It's the first mug of the episode.
There will be many. I can already feel them coming.
And one more thing. If someone offers to pay for everyone and you want to accept gracefully, you can say, are you sure? Thank you. That's really kind. You don't have to fight over the bill for 10 minutes.
Ah, yes, the bill fight. 2 people pushing a card at each other like it's a sword.
No, I'll get it. No, I'll get it. No, I insist.
Meanwhile, the waiter has aged 5 years.
So you can either insist kindly or accept kindly. Both are fine. Now, let's move to a slightly different situation. Imagine it's someone's birthday, and the group wants to buy one big gift together.
Ah, the group gift. where one person organizes everything and slowly loses their mind.
And in that situation, everyone gives a little money toward the gift. The phrase for that is chip in.
Chip in. So if everyone gives $10, we all chipped in $10.
Yes, everyone chipped in for the cake. Or, do you want to chip in for Sarah's gift?
That's useful because asking for money can feel uncomfortable. But do you want to chip in sounds light. It sounds like a choice.
Exactly. It doesn't sound like you're demanding money. It sounds like an invitation. There's a big difference between give me $10 and do you want to chip in?
One sounds like a robbery, one sounds like a party.
Choose the party.
Can I try it?
Please.
Hey, a few of us are buying a gift for the team leader. Do you want to chip in?
Sure. How much is everyone giving?
About 15 each.
Great. Count me in.
See? Nobody panicked. Nobody laughed at a bill.
We're healing from the salad story slowly.
Very slowly.
And chip in isn't only about gifts. You can chip in for a group dinner, for shared travel costs, for a friend who's going through a hard time.
So it's any time a group shares the cost of something.
Yes, and it has a warm feeling because it means everyone is helping a little. A little from everyone becomes a lot.
A little from everyone becomes a lot. That's actually beautiful.
It is. And honestly, that's one of the few money situations that genuinely feels good. Nobody feels alone in it. Everyone shares.
Until someone forgets to chip in and you have to remind them.
Ah, and that brings us to a much harder topic.
Oh no.
When someone owes you money.
This is the scary one. This is the one that ends friendships.
It can, because money between friends is delicate. You lend a friend some money, and then weeks pass, and they don't mention it. And you don't mention it.
And now there's a tiny ghost sitting between you.
A money ghost.
The friendship is haunted now. Every time you meet, the ghost whispers, $40. The friendship is haunted now. Every time you meet, the ghost whispers, $40.
So let's learn how to talk about it gently. First, the basic words. If your friend has to give you money back, your friend owes you money.
Oh, so if you lent me $20, I owe you $20.
Exactly. You owe me 20. Or more softly, I think you still owe me a little from last week.
And the action of giving it back is payback.
Yes, I'll pay you back tomorrow. Or, don't worry, you can pay me back later.
That second one is so kind. You can pay me back later. It takes away the pressure.
It does. And that's the trick with money. You can say the same thing in a hard way or a soft way. The soft way keeps the friendship safe.
So what if I'm the one who needs to remind a friend? Because that's the part I freeze on completely.
This is where a lot of learners panic. They feel rude. So they say nothing. And then they feel frustrated for weeks. And the frustration grows quietly.
Yes, the silent suffering. You start having imaginary arguments in your head.
And the friend has completely forgotten. They're not being cruel. They just forgot.
That's the tragedy. You're suffering and they're fine.
But there's a gentle way. You can say, hey, no rush, but whenever you get a chance, could you send me the money from dinner?
No rush is doing a lot of work in that sentence.
It really is. No rush makes it feel relaxed. You're reminding them, but you're not attacking them. It says, this isn't urgent. I'm not angry. I just wanted to mention it.
Let's act it out. I'll be the one who forgot because that's emotionally accurate.
Hey, Henry, no rush at all, but could you pay me back for the tickets when you get a chance?
Oh my goodness, I completely forgot. I'm so sorry. I'll send it right now.
No worries. Thank you.
See, I didn't feel attacked. I felt reminded. There's a big difference.
That's the whole secret. Reminded, not a secret. Reminded, not attacked. And usually people forget by accident, not on purpose.
Usually.
Usually. There's always one.
There's always a Brian.
Stop inventing Brian. And what if you're the one who borrowed and you can't pay back yet? That's also stressful.
Oh, very stressful. You see the person and you want to hide behind a plant.
Instead of hiding, you can be honest. You can say, I haven't forgotten about the money I owe you. I'm a bit short right now, but I'll pay you back next week.
I haven't forgotten is important. It tells them you know, you care, and you're not running away.
Exactly. People are usually very patient if they know you remember. The problem isn't the delay. The problem is the silence.
The silence creates the ghost.
The silence always creates the ghost. And quickly, while we're here, let's fix one tiny thing that confuses so many learners. 2 words, borrow and lend.
Oh, these two. I mix them up constantly. They live in my head together and fight.
They're opposites, but they're easy to remember once you see it. You borrow from someone. You lend to someone.
So if I take money from you, I borrow it.
Yes. Can I borrow $20? You're asking to take and return later.
And if I give money to you to use, I lend it.
Exactly. I lent him $20. You gave it for them to use and return.
So the borrower takes, the lender gives.
Perfect. And the classic mistake learners make is, can you borrow me some money?
I've said that.
A lot of people do. But the correct version is, can you lend me some money? Or, can I borrow some money from you?
So lend me or borrow from you, not borrow me.
You've got it. Can you lend me $10? I'll pay you back tomorrow.
I feel like I've been freed from years of quiet confusion.
That's the goal. One small fix, big relief. Okay, now let's talk about one of the most important and most emotional money moments, saying you can't afford something.
Oof, this one hits.
Because there's a lot of shame around it. Your friends want to go to an expensive restaurant or take a trip, and you simply don't have the money right now.
And you don't want to say it because it feels like admitting something.
Right. So people often lie. They say, oh, I'm busy that day. They make excuses instead of telling the truth.
I've done that. I once said I was sick to avoid an expensive dinner. I was not sick. I was just poor that week.
And honestly, that's so common. But the problem with the fake excuse is that it can become a habit. You keep saying no, and slowly your friends stop inviting you.
Oh, that's dark. So the lie protects you today but costs you later.
Exactly. The honest version is actually safer. You can say, that sounds great, but it's a bit out of my budget right now.
Out of my budget? Oh, that's smooth. It doesn't sound dramatic.
No, it just means more than I want to spend. It's calm and mature.
And it doesn't make you sound broke. It just sounds like you're being sensible, like a person with a plan.
Exactly. Or if you want to be very casual, you can say, I'm a bit tight on money this month.
Tight on money. That's a good one.
Tight here means you don't have much extra money. Money's a bit tight right now is very natural.
And there's another phrase I love. Strapped for cash.
Yes, I'm a bit strapped for cash this week. It means you're low on money temporarily.
It sounds almost friendly. Like, don't worry, it's just this week. I'm not in a crisis.
That's the feeling. It's temporary, casual, no shame.
Can I try the honest version? Because I want to delete my fake sickness era.
Please heal.
A friend says, let's go to that fancy steakhouse on Friday.
Okay, go ahead.
That place looks amazing, but it's a bit out of my budget right now. Could we do something cheaper? I'd still love to hang out.
Henry, that was perfect.
I added, I'd still love to hang out so they know it's the money, not them.
That's the most important part. You're saying no to the price, not to the person.
No to the price, not to the person. Mug number 2.
The mug shop is filling up.
Soon we'll need to chip in for shelves.
Nicely done. You used it already.
I'm learning in real time.
And here's the lovely part. When you suggest a cheaper alternative, you're not just refusing, you're offering. Could we do something cheaper? Keeps the friendship moving.
So you close one door and open a smaller, more affordable door.
Exactly. Maybe a coffee instead of a steak dinner. The friendship doesn't need an expensive room. It just needs you in it.
Okay, that one is also a mug.
We're going to need a bigger shop. Quick pause. If you're enjoying this conversation, please like the video and subscribe to Real People, Real English. And write one sentence in the comments using any money phrase from today. Maybe, let's split the bill. Or, I'm a bit tight on money. Your sentence doesn't need to be perfect. The goal is practice.
And if you have your own awkward money story, tell us. We will not judge. I laughed at a bill. We're all friends here.
Okay, back to it. Now, let's go somewhere even more sensitive. Salary. Money you earn.
The forbidden number.
In many cultures, asking, how much do you earn, is considered very personal, even rude.
Right. You can ask someone about their relationship, their health, their childhood, but ask about their salary and suddenly the room goes cold.
So in English, people often soften it. Instead of, how much do you make, which is very direct, you might hear, is it a good salary? Or, does it pay well?
Oh, does it pay well? That's clever. You're asking, but not asking the exact number.
Exactly. You're asking about the feeling of the salary, not the number itself.
So someone could answer, yeah, it pays pretty well, without telling you the actual amount.
Perfect. And you'll also hear, how's the pay? That's casual and very common. You started a new job? How's the pay?
And you can answer vaguely. It's decent. It's not bad. It's enough.
It's enough is a beautiful, honest answer. It tells the truth without telling the number.
It's enough. That's a peaceful sentence, actually.
Now, if you're talking about whether something is worth its price, you'll hear, worth it.
Worth it. Like, was the concert worth it?
Yes. It was expensive, but it was totally worth it. It means the value matched the price.
And the opposite? When something is too expensive for what it is?
You can say, it's not worth it, or it's a ripoff.
A ripoff. Ooh, that's strong.
It is strong. A ripoff means something costs way more than it should. $12 for a tiny coffee? That's a ripoff.
I felt that in my heart.
But careful. Ripoff is casual and a little negative. Use it with friends, not in a polite business meeting.
Got it. Don't tell the client their product is a ripoff.
Please don't.
Noted. Saving my career.
And on the happier side, when something is cheap and good, you can say it's a good deal or a bargain.
A bargain. That word makes me happy.
I got these shoes for $10. What a bargain. It means a great price.
So a bargain is the hero and a ripoff is the villain.
That's the whole movie, yes.
Money has a full cast of characters.
And one more useful situation here. Asking for a lower price. In some places, you can negotiate, especially in markets.
Oh, the haggling. I'm terrible at it. I always pay the first price and walk away feeling defeated.
You can ask gently, is that your best price? Or, can you do a little better on the price?
Can you do a little better? That's nice. It's not aggressive, it's polite.
And if they lower it, they might say they'll knock off a few dollars. I'll knock off $5 for you.
Knock off. So take a little away from the price.
Yes, but honestly, in a normal shop with fixed prices, you don't haggle, you just pay. Haggling is for markets and certain situations.
Good, because if I asked the supermarket for a better price on milk, security would arrive.
Sir, the milk is $4. Can you do a little better? Sir.
I've embarrassed myself in this imaginary scenario.
And one more useful idea here. When you don't want to share a number at all, you can gently change the subject. You can smile and say, oh, enough to get by, and move on.
Enough to get by. So, enough to live, but I'm not telling you more.
Exactly. To get by means to have just enough to manage. It's a soft, common phrase. We get by. It's enough to get by on.
That's a gentle wall. Polite, but the conversation moves on.
And that's a real skill, knowing how to answer a money question without actually answering it.
The art of the friendly dodge.
A very useful art. Okay, let's talk about something fun. People have very different relationships with money. Some people are savers, some people are spenders.
Oh, I know exactly which one I am.
A saver is someone who likes to keep money, save for the future, be careful.
And a spender is someone who, when money arrives, says hello and then immediately says goodbye.
That's a spender, yes. Money comes in the front door and leaves through the window.
I have a window, a very large window.
So you'd say, I'm more of a spender. And a careful person would say, I'm more of a saver.
And we usually say, put money aside for saving. I try to put a little money aside each month.
Beautiful. Put aside means save for later. It's gentle and very natural.
That sounds healthier than my method, which is spend it before it gets bored.
Money doesn't get bored, Henry.
Mine does. It's very restless.
And there's a lovely phrase for being careful with money without sounding negative. I'm watching my spending this month.
Watching my spending. That sounds responsible, like I'm guarding it.
It's a kind way to say you're being careful. I'm watching my spending right now, so let's keep it simple.
And the opposite, when you spend too freely?
You can say, I went a bit overboard, or I overspent.
I went a bit overboard. I went so overboard, I fell off the boat entirely.
I overspent this weekend is very natural. No shame in it. We all do it sometimes.
Especially around snacks.
Especially around your snacks.
They call to me.
And you answer every time. And here's one more saver and spender phrase that's really useful. Live within your means.
Ooh, that sounds wise.
It means to spend only what you can afford, not more. He lives within his means. It's a calm, mature compliment, actually.
And the opposite? Spending more than you have?
Living beyond your means. That's spending more than you earn. They're living beyond their means.
So within your means is safe, and beyond your means is the danger zone.
Exactly. And you don't need to be perfect. You just aim for within your means most of the time.
Most of the time. With small, crunchy exceptions.
Always the snacks. Let's get really practical now. The small money moments that happen almost every day. Paying in a shop, a cafe, a taxi.
The tiny transactions. The ones that should be easy, but somehow still make me sweat in another language.
So first, the question you'll hear a lot. Cash or card?
Cash or card? And I just need to know one answer.
Right. You can say, card please, or I'll pay by card, or do you take card? If you're not sure they accept it.
Do you take card is so useful. Some small places are cash only.
Exactly. And they might say, sorry, we're cash only, which means you can only pay with notes and coins.
And then I have a small panic because I never carry cash.
Many people don't anymore. So, do you take card is a great first question. Saves the panic.
What about when prices are lower than normal? I love that situation.
When something is cheaper than usual, it's on sale, or you'll see half price, or there's a discount.
It's on sale. It's half price. Beautiful words. The most beautiful words in English.
And you can ask, is this on sale? Or is there a discount on this? Very natural in a shop.
And sometimes things are cheaper online than in the shop.
Yes, you can say, it's cheaper online, or I'll just get it online, it's a better price.
Now, the taxi situation. When the ride costs, say, $9 and you give 10 and don't want the change.
You say, keep the change. It means the extra is for you, a small tip.
Keep the change. Such a confident, generous little phrase.
It is. Although, check the amount first, Henry. Don't say keep the change on a $50 note for a $9 ride.
Ah, that would be an expensive moment of confidence.
A very expensive splurge.
the most accidental splurge in history.
So those small phrases, card please, do you take card? Is this on sale? Keep the change. They make everyday life so much smoother.
And they're short. That's the gift. You don't need a long sentence to pay for a coffee.
Short and calm, that's all you need. Now let's touch something gentle. Money inside families and close friendships, because that has its own special rules.
Oh, family money. The most emotional money of all.
With family, people often don't want to talk about it at all. A parent helps a child. A sibling lends to a sibling. And nobody says the exact words.
Right. My family communicates about money entirely through sighs and meaningful looks.
And that's okay, but sometimes you do need to say something. So here's a soft phrase. Let me help you out.
Help you out. That's kind. It doesn't say the word money, but everyone understands.
Exactly. Don't worry about it. Let me help you out this time. It's warm and it protects the other person's dignity.
Dignity. That's the key word with family, isn't it? You don't want anyone to feel small.
That's it. And if someone helps you, a lovely way to accept is, thank you, I'll pay you back when I can.
And if it's a gift, not a loan?
Then the person might say, don't worry about paying me back. It's a gift. And you can simply say, thank you, that means a lot.
That means a lot. Such a small sentence, such a big feeling.
And one more. Sometimes a friend offers money and you don't want to take it. You can say, gently, that's really kind, but I'm okay, honestly.
I'm okay, honestly. So you can refuse help politely too.
Yes, you don't have to accept every offer. A kind no is allowed. Thank you, but I've got it, really.
So with family and close friends, the words get softer and the feelings get bigger.
Beautifully said. Money there isn't about numbers. It's about love, trying to find the right words.
Mug.
Mug. Okay, now my favorite part, the generous side of money. Sometimes you want to pay for someone, maybe a friend's birthday, or you just want to be kind.
The rare moment when money feels nice.
And the phrase for that is so warm. You can say, it's on me.
It's on me, meaning I'll pay.
Yes, don't worry about the bill, it's on me. It's generous and simple.
That's such a good feeling, to say that and watch someone's face relax.
It really is. Or you can say, I've got this, or let me get this one.
And let me get this one is nice, because it suggests maybe they can get the next one.
Exactly. It keeps things fair without making it a big deal.
What about that fancier phrase, pick up the tab?
Good one. Pick up the tab means to pay the whole bill, often for everyone. Don't worry, my uncle picked up the tab.
Ah, the legendary generous uncle.
Every family has one.
Or wishes they did.
And then there's the fun word. When you spend a lot of money on something special, you splurge.
Splurge. That word even sounds expensive.
It means to spend more than usual, usually on a treat. I splurged on a really nice dinner for my birthday.
So splurging isn't bad. It's a happy kind of spending.
Exactly. It's a choice. You decided to enjoy something. I don't usually buy expensive coffee, but today I splurged.
I splurge emotionally on snacks every Friday.
That tracks.
It's my weekend ritual, a small, crunchy splurge.
And see, that's the beauty of these words. Money doesn't have to feel heavy. Sometimes it's just you, a treat, and a happy little splurge.
A happy little splurge. That's almost poetic.
From the man who laughed at a bill.
I've grown so much in this episode.
You really have. You started by laughing at paper, and now you're being poetic about snacks.
Growth. Beautiful growth.
And one last generous phrase before we move on. When you want to quietly pay without making a scene, you can slip away and pay first. People call that getting the bill or sorting the bill.
Ah, the secret payment. You disappear for a minute and come back a hero.
I've already sorted the bill, don't worry. It's a lovely surprise for the other person.
Sneaky generosity. The best kind.
It is. Just don't fight about it afterward. Let them say thank you and enjoy the moment.
No bill fights. We've learned. The waiter has suffered enough.
Before we move to the word tour, I want to say one real thing. The reason money feels awkward in any language is that it's never only about money.
What do you mean?
When we talk about money, we're often really talking about other things. Fairness, respect, feeling included, not wanting to look like we have less than someone else.
Ah, so when I froze at that bill, it wasn't about the salad.
It was about not wanting to look cheap and not wanting to be unfair all at the same time. That's a lot of feeling for one little piece of paper.
That's actually comforting. So the awkwardness isn't a flaw, it's just because I care.
Exactly. And that's why learning these phrases matters so much. When you have the right words, the feeling gets lighter. You're not stuck anymore. You can just say the thing.
Clear is kind.
The mug returns.
The mug always returns.
And for English learners, this is huge. Because if you're living, studying, or working in another country, money conversations happen all the time. Rent, bills, shopping, splitting costs with roommates.
And freezing every single time is exhausting.
It is. You shouldn't have to feel scared every time a bill arrives, or every time a friend says, "Can you cover me this time?"
Oh, cover me. That's a good one too.
It is. "Can you cover me? I'll pay you back." It means, "Can you pay for me right now?" It's very common between friends.
So the goal today isn't to make you rich. We can't do that. Sorry.
We tried. The bank said no.
They laughed at us. Then we laughed at the bill. It was a whole thing.
The goal is to make these moments feel normal, easy, human, so that money stops being this scary topic and becomes just another part of a friendly conversation.
Money is just numbers wearing emotions.
Henry, that's the best thing you've said all episode.
I'd like it on a mug, please.
Granted. And here's the deeper truth for our listeners. The point of all these phrases isn't to sound clever. It's to feel free.
Free how?
Free to enjoy a dinner without dreading the bill. Free to say no to a trip without lying. Free to treat a friend without overthinking it. Free to be honest when money's tight.
So the words aren't really about money. They're about not carrying that little knot of stress everywhere.
Exactly. Most of us carry a tiny money stress in our chest all day. And the right sentence, said at the right moment, loosens it just a little.
A sentence as medicine. I like that.
And the more you use them, the more normal they feel. The first time you say, "It's a bit out of my budget," it might feel scary. By the 10th time, it's just words.
By the 100th time, you're saying it while choosing snacks.
Of course, the snacks return.
They always return. Like the mug.
And honestly, for learners, this is one of the most useful topics there is. Because money conversations don't wait for you to feel ready. They happen at dinners, in shops, with roommates, at work.
Life doesn't pause so you can prepare a perfect sentence.
No. So you keep a few simple ones ready. And suddenly the moment that used to make you freeze becomes a moment you can handle.
From freezing to handling. That's real progress.
That's the whole journey of learning a language, really. The thing that scared you slowly becomes ordinary.
And one day you realize you didn't even think about it. You just spoke.
That's the dream. Now let's slow down and really learn the words you can carry with you.
Word tour time.
Word tour time! This is where we take the most useful words and phrases from today's conversation and practice them slowly. We'll say each one naturally, then show you real moments where you can use it.
And for each one, we'll give you simple sentences you can actually say when you talk about money.
Our first phrase is split the bill. Split the bill. Slowly. Split the bill.
Split the bill. Split the bill.
To split the bill means everyone shares the cost of a meal equally. You might be at a restaurant with friends and nobody knows what to do. You could say, "Should we split the bill?"
Or maybe you had a casual lunch and you just want it to be simple. Then you could say, "Let's just split it."
And if there are more than 2 people, you can say how many ways. For example, there were 4 of us, so we split it 4 ways.
And if it's just 2 people, you can use a softer version. Let's go halves on the pizza.
So split the bill is for a group, and go halves is usually for 2 people. Let's hear it in a quick moment.
That was a great meal. Should we split the bill?
Yeah, let's split it. So instead of standing in awkward silence, you can say, "Should we split the bill?" And instead of secretly paying for everything, you can say, "Let's go halves."
And one quick form note. Split is the verb. The bill is what we split. We can also say split it once it's clear what we mean. The bill's here. Should we split it?
And the past tense is split too. It doesn't change. Last night we split the bill. Nice and easy.
A verb that doesn't change its shape. We love a low-maintenance verb.
We do. Our next phrase is chip in. Chip in. Chip in. Chip in.
Chip in. Chip in.
To chip in means everyone gives a little money towards something shared. Maybe it's a group gift for a friend. You could say, "Do you want to chip in for the gift?"
Or maybe a group of you is ordering food together. Then you could say, "Let's all chip in for the pizza."
And if you're describing something that already happened, you can say, "Everyone chipped in for the cake."
Chip in is a phrasal verb, and we usually say, chip in for something. We chipped in for a leaving present.
It has a warm, friendly feeling because it's an invitation, not a demand. Let's make it a mini conversation.
Hey, we're buying a gift for the team. Do you want to chip in?
Sure. How much is everyone giving?
About 10 each.
Perfect. Count me in. So instead of saying, "Give me money for the gift," which sounds harsh, you can say, "Do you want to chip in?" Softer and much kinder.
And can I ask about the past form? Is it chipped in?
Yes. We all chipped in. Very natural. Everyone chipped in $10.
And if someone gives more than the others?
You can say they chipped in a bit more. It's flexible. The amount can be equal or different.
Let's do one more quick moment.
The office is buying flowers for someone who's leaving. Are you chipping in?
Of course, I'll chip in. Just tell me how much.
Perfect. So whenever a group shares a cost, chip in is your word. Our next phrase is strapped for cash. Strapped for cash. Strapped for cash. Strapped for cash.
Strapped for cash. Strapped for cash.
Strapped for cash is a casual way to say you don't have much money right now, but only temporarily. Maybe a friend invites you somewhere expensive this week. You could say, "I'm a bit strapped for cash this week."
Or maybe you spent a lot recently and you're being careful. Then you could say, "I'm a little strapped for cash at the moment."
And there's a simpler version with the same meaning. Money's a bit tight right now. You can use that anytime money is low.
The key feeling is temporary. It's not a crisis. It's just this week, this month.
And there's no shame in it. Everyone has tight weeks. Let's hear it.
That trip sounds amazing, but I'm a bit strapped for cash this week. Could we do it next month?
Of course, next month works. So instead of making a fake excuse, you can say, I'm a bit strapped for cash. And instead of pretending to be busy, you can say, money's a bit tight right now.
And here's a kind reminder for everyone listening. Being strapped for cash is not something to hide. Everyone has weeks like that.
Exactly. It's honest, it's human, and good friends understand completely. Let's hear one more quick moment.
Want to grab lunch at that new place?
I'd love to, but I'm a bit strapped for cash this week. Could we just grab a coffee instead?
Coffee sounds perfect.
See how the friendship keeps going? You didn't disappear. You just chose something smaller. Our next phrase is out of my budget. Out of my budget. Out of my budget. Out of my budget.
Out of my budget. Out of my budget.
A budget is the amount of money you plan to spend. So out of my budget means something costs more than you plan to spend. Maybe friends want to book an expensive hotel. You could say, that's a bit out of my budget.
Or maybe you're shopping and you find something lovely but too expensive. Then you could say, it's beautiful, but it's out of my budget right now.
And for the opposite, when something is affordable, you can say it's within my budget. For example, that restaurant is within my budget.
So out of my budget is too expensive, and within my budget is okay. It sounds calm and sensible, not dramatic.
Let's make it a mini conversation.
Let's book the fancy hotel for the trip.
That one's a bit out of my budget. Could we find something cheaper?
Sure, let's look.
So instead of saying, that's too expensive for me, which can sound a little flat, you can say, that's a bit out of my budget. Softer, smoother, and it keeps the conversation moving.
And budget on its own is a useful word too, right?
Very. Your budget is your spending plan. You can say, I'm on a tight budget this month, which means you're being careful with money.
On a tight budget. So that's similar to money's tight.
It is, and you can stick to your budget, which means not spending more than you planned. I'm trying to stick to my budget.
I have never once stuck to a budget. The budget waves goodbye as I walk past the snack aisle.
The snack aisle is your weakness.
It's my whole personality.
Our next phrase is, it's on me. It's on me. It's on me. It's on me.
It's on me. It's on me.
It's on me is the generous one. It means I'll pay. Maybe it's a friend's birthday and you want to treat them. You could say, put your wallet away, it's on me.
Or maybe a friend helped you a lot and you want to say thank you. Then you could say, let me get this one. It's on me.
And if you want to suggest they pay another time, you can say, I've got this one. You can get the next one.
There's also a fancier version. Pick up the tab means to pay the whole bill, often for the whole group. My friend picked up the tab.
Let's hear it's on me in a quick moment.
No, put your card away. It's on me today.
Oh, are you sure? Thank you.
Of course. You can get the next one.
So instead of a long, complicated sentence about paying, you can simply say, it's on me. 3 words, maximum warmth.
And a tiny grammar note. We say, it's on me, it's on you, it's on him. The pattern is, it's on plus the person.
Nice catch. Dinner's on me tonight. The coffee's on you next time. Very natural.
And this one's on me is lovely too, because it quietly says there will be a next time.
It builds the friendship into the sentence. This one's on me. You can get the next one.
Money saying, don't worry, we'll see each other again.
And our final word is splurge. 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 Splurge.
Splurge. Splurge.
To splurge means to spend more than usual on something special. It's a happy kind of spending. Maybe it's your birthday and you treat yourself to a lovely dinner. You could say, I splurged on a really nice dinner.
Or maybe you don't usually buy expensive things, but you saw something you loved. Then you could say, I don't normally spend that much, but I splurged on these shoes.
And you can use the pattern splurge on something. She splurged on a holiday. He splurged on a new phone.
Splurge is a verb, but it can be a noun too. That dinner was a real splurge. But the verb is more common, so start there.
And the feeling is positive. A splurge is allowed. It's a treat you chose. Let's make it a mini conversation.
Wow, that's a beautiful jacket. Was it expensive?
A little. I don't usually spend that much, but I splurged this time.
So instead of saying, I spent a lot of money on a treat, you can say, I splurged. And instead of feeling guilty, you can enjoy it.
A happy little splurge.
Probably splurging on snacks the moment we finish recording.
Quick form check. Splurge, splurged, splurging? That's right. I splurge sometimes. I splurged yesterday. I'm splurging today. All three work.
And the noun again?
It was a bit of a splurge. You can describe the thing itself as a splurge. These shoes were a splurge.
So the shoes are a splurge, and buying them is to splurge.
Exactly. And remember, the feeling is warm, not guilty. You chose it. You enjoyed it. That's the whole point of a splurge. Now, let's put today's words together in one natural answer. Listen first.
When I go out with friends, we usually split the bill. And for birthdays, we all chip in for a gift. If something's out of my budget, I just say I'm a bit strapped for cash that week. But on special days, I love to say it's on me. And sometimes, I splurge on something nice.
Beautiful. Now, let's say it slowly together.
When I go out with friends, we usually split the bill.
For birthdays, we all chip in for a gift.
If something's out of my budget, I say I'm a bit strapped for cash.
But on special days, I love to say it's on me.
And sometimes, I splurge on something nice.
Now, try to make your own sentence. You can write it in the comments too. Start with, when it comes to money. Before we go, let's quickly review a few useful sentences from today.
Should we split the bill?
Do you want to chip in for the gift?
I'm a bit strapped for cash this week.
That's a little out of my budget right now.
Don't worry, it's on me.
I splurged on something nice this weekend.
And a few bonus ones. No rush, but could you pay me back when you get a chance?
Can you cover me? I'll pay you back.
It was expensive, but it was totally worth it.
Can you lend me 10? I'll get you back tomorrow.
Do you take card?
Keep the change. And one more honest little sentence. Money's a bit tight, but I'm okay.
I love that one. Honest and calm.
And notice something about all of these. None of them are long. None of them are fancy. They're short, warm, and easy to remember.
That's the secret of money English. You don't need big words. You need calm words.
Pick 2 or 3 from today. Keep them ready, and you'll handle almost any money moment.
Reminded, not attacked. Clear is kind. The mugs are all coming back for the finale.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode. We talked about money, but really we talked about something deeper. Fairness, kindness, and the courage to just say the thing.
Because the money was never the hard part. The sentence was. And now you have the sentences.
So this week, try one of them. Maybe you split a bill. Maybe you tell a friend something's out of your budget. Maybe you treat someone and say, it's on me.
And tell us in the comments, what's one money phrase you'll use first? Write one small sentence. That's enough practice for today.
And remember, Your English doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be brave enough to speak.
One small sentence at a time.
If this episode helped you, please like the video, subscribe to Real People, Real English, and share it with a friend who's learning English.
Especially a friend who once laughed at a bill. They need us. They need this episode.
Send it to them gently, maybe with a little message. This made me think of you and our last dinner.
Now that's a thoughtful, slightly cheeky little gift.
The best kind. Thank you for spending this time with us. Keep listening, keep practicing, and don't let money make you nervous anymore.
Take care of your English.
And take care of your heart. This is Emma.
And this is Henry.
And you have been listening to Real People, Real English. Bye.
Bye.